Alright, good morning guys. It is a freezing cold morning here in Seoul, South Korea. And today we're going on an adventure to the DMZ. This is one of the big things we've been waiting to do since we got here, so we're pretty excited about this. The skies look clear. They're not calling for any rain today. There's a little bit of wind, but it is so chilly. I think what I read before was 38 degrees Fahrenheit, which is
too cold for our wardrobe.
Yeah. So we're all layered up. We got about 5 layers on each. And right now we're just waiting for someone to pick us up. Our guide's coming to pick us up and we'll be off to the DMZ. So come on along with us and see what we can get into. Alright guys, so we are at our first stop right now and our guide is inside getting us tickets. And this is like right near the DMZ borderline. Right behind me you can see the unification bell. And that was built obviously to show unification between the two sides at the turn of the century. Didn't work out too well, I guess. But yeah, she's inside, she's getting our tickets now, and we're going to take a peek across the gondolas here, heading over towards the DMZ. Then we get back on our bus, and I think we head over towards the village, so we're going to find out in a minute. But right now, she's getting our tickets, and it's warming up just a little bit. Beautiful sunny day, though. So our guide was just telling us that tourists come here, obviously, for the DMZ and to check out the history and all that. But locals come to the same area because, as you can see behind me here, there's an amusement park on this side, and then straight along all the land that runs along the DMZ, there's a lot of camping apparently. So they come here and do camping and summer activities like family activities and things like that. So it's not only for tourists, it's also for locals.
So everyone, Team Gabby, we are going this way. So everyone, please follow me here. Okay.
Alright guys, so this peace park was originally used for refugees from the war. This is where they house them all on this land here. Now it's like I said, it's an amusement park, it's museums, it's got all kinds of bridges around here that are famous. And that's where I'm gonna head right now, is over to the Freedom Bridge, because like I said, I'm a big, huge MASH fan, and I used to always remember seeing the bridge where they would take them. Obviously they didn't film it here, but this is the real Freedom Bridge where they would exchange the prisoners. So we're gonna head over there right now and check out the bridge. A couple of statues that are over here that are pretty famous. A lot of them have to do with the Japanese. Apparently, before their occupation, they would take the women from here and use them in the wrong ways. And so it was somewhere between 50,000 and 300,000 women disappeared at the time. And Japan won't release any documents, so they can't really figure out the exact number. So they have two statues of the women over here. And you can see their hair's all messed up, they're barefoot, they look like slaves. And there's 2 seats next to the women that you can sit in to pay respect to the women who are missing still. So, sorry about this construction right here. Alright guys, so these altars that you see behind me here, this is the closest you can get to North Korea, for the grave. So if your family is missing on the other side of the border and you haven't gotten in touch with them, you don't know if they're alive or not, this is the altar that people come and pray to and worship for their elders who are lost on the other side. Basically the closest you can get to them. Pretty cool. Alright, one more stop to make and then we gotta head back to our bus. But this here is the Freedom Bridge. Now, I tell you, I can't wait to go back and watch this episode of MASH. I remember when Hawkeye and Radar and Ferret Face over there, Burns, went and did the exchange and he had the gun with him and it was a whole big thing. But anyway, I remember it clearly and I can't wait to go back and watch the episode now. It doesn't look the same, but you get the point. Here it is. So you can see it goes all the way down around there and it crosses over the river. And they'd come around here, yell freedom, and then they would live over here in the refugee camp. Now this gondola that you see in the background here, that goes over the river and it stays in South Korea, over the river, and people go over that way and you can get closer to the DMZ that way. But we're gonna take the bus around through the checkpoint. All right.
Why you want to check out the train? The train's they put it back together.
Yeah. So they have several trains here, guys. And this was one Alyssa was just saying that was reassembled. There's a few bunch of parts on the other side we'll go over and show you laying there, but this is one of the trains from back in the time there. Let's see if I can't get down here and get a good picture of it. Okay guys, so we're at our second stop now, and this is an observatory. Outside the observatory, we weren't allowed to take any pictures or photos because it's a military zone, obviously. And we're looking out right now at North Korea out there in the distance. And in here, inside the observatory, we are allowed to film. So this is probably the only glimpse we'll be able to give you guys from up on top of this mountain of North Korea out there. Also, our guide was just telling us a few fun facts on the way up here. For one, the national crops here, the big crops here, are rice, soybeans, and ginseng. However, ginseng is considered like a national treasure here, and it is completely regulated by the government. From the growing to the harvesting to the selling, everything about ginseng here is regulated. They take it that serious. They love their ginseng here. And let's see. Right now, she's just explaining some of the things that we can see out the window. And like that river out there, that little triangle pond, it looks like that's actually a river, and that's one of the DMZ borderlines. And let's see if I can point it out to you guys from up here. If you see those buses down there, that's where the tunnels are. And apparently those tunnels were built after there was a peace agreement. North Korea built tunnels to try to sneak into South Korea, and those are the tunnels down there, and we're going to be able to go into them at our next stop, I believe. So we're going to head over there next. It is actually pretty cool to be here once you get past the military part of it. Now, we got some bad information, and our hotel people told us that we didn't need our passports, so we didn't bring them. But we're not going over there anyway. However, they did check us at the checkpoint there, and we did have paper copies and all, and it was no problem. They let us through anyway. So we are right here on the border now. We're going to take a few pictures and enjoy the view, and then we'll see you guys from down at the tunnel. Oh, by the way, they said if they do catch you taking pictures outside, then they will confiscate your phone and delete all your pictures out of your phone. I don't know how it's going to stop it once it's uploaded to the cloud, but you know how that works. They'll take it away from you, and you'll get in a little bit of trouble. Before 2018, this place will be very loud place because of this. I'm not sure if this camera will pick up those towers out there along the line here, but those towers used to all have speakers on them. And then on the other side there's another row of towers which had speakers facing this way. And North Korea, which, you know, play their propaganda messages this way, saying how it's the richest, greatest, most beautiful country in the world, and then South Korea would play theirs going back that way. And it was just she was saying it was just a really noisy mess of messages getting shouted back and forth at each other. Now, however, she said it's finally been, all the speakers have been taken down and it's nice and quiet, she said. Alright, so from up here on the roof of the observatory, they have these telescopes that I was just looking through. And if you peek down there, you can actually see North Koreans riding bicycles. There's a little hut out there. We can see a few soldiers. And one of the guys says they're actors, like the people riding the bikes are just actors trying to make it look like there's a real thriving society going on over there, when actually it's just poverty and despair. So I have heard that in several other places too, especially when you try to get into North Korea to go on a tour. You have to go on government approved tours, and I don't believe any of them are running right now because of political reasons, but they are going to be opening up again soon. They're very limited space, and they were saying even when you go on those tours, they just take you to fake villages where it's not the real life. You're not seeing the real stores. You're seeing stores that are actually full of food, but if you go in and look, it's actually empty boxes. It's just like a movie set, basically, a fake community. So I think that's what we're looking at. It's kind of what it looks like, because the people are just riding their bikes back and forth and all. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. Maybe one day we'll be able to get over there and visit North Korea. Ain't happening right now though. The other thing we found out, we wanted to go to Panmunjom, which is the propaganda village or the peace village, depending on which side you look at it from. And a couple of years back, a U.S. soldier was over there visiting, and there's doors that go from one side to the other, from one country to the other. And apparently he opened the wrong door, and now he's in custody over there. And ever since then, no more tours are allowed to go through to Panmunjom. So that's off our list for now. We were looking forward to that one, but not happening. This, however, is really cool being able to see it from here. I know it doesn't count as visiting it, but we get to check it out at least.
The world's only demilitarized zone, DMZ, is a place that bears the tragedy of the time in the past. Korea has overcome the pain of war and achieved miraculous economic growth. And another miracle that we must achieve as we pursue harmony and coexistence, unification. Until that day comes, the DMZ will be alive forever.
Alright guys, so we just came out of the third stop. It's the tunnels. Now let me give you a little story here. So after World War II and after the war, when they made the division lines between the two countries and then they established the Demilitarized Zone, everybody thought everything was cool and the problems were over and they had their separation and everybody's gonna behave. But North Korea started digging tunnels, 4 which we know of now that they have found, and they suggest that there's many more down there. And those 4 tunnels were used, they were planning an invasion of South Korea. So we just went down in one of the tunnels, way down underground. We'll put the depth and all down below for you guys. And it was a tight squeeze climbing in and out of there. They say that they could put 30,000 soldiers an hour through this tunnel, which they must have been real short leprechaun soldiers, because it was a tight squeeze in there. But it was pretty interesting. So we got to go down there all the way to the bottom, although you can't make it to North Korea through the tunnels anymore because they have walls now put up to stop them from coming through. But in those walls, they cut windows so you could actually see through. So we were about 150 meters from North Korea at that point, and we could see right in there. It would look like a beautiful day in North Korea. So that is the story with the tunnels. It took us about, I don't know, they were really steep, so the climb down only took about 5-10 minutes maybe. The climb up took more like 15 to 20 because it was very, very steep and humid in there. So we broke a sweat, but it was definitely worth checking out. Those tunnels were very cool. I got some other facts for you guys too. While I was down there, I was talking to the guide and I was asking her about the what happens here with the military, like who goes into the military. And she said here you go to school for 1 year, finish school, then you go to the military. You finish out your service in the military, I think it's 3 years, she said, and then you go back to school and finish university if you'd like. And then she said, however, in North Korea, everybody has to go in the military. You have to go for 10 years if you're a male and 5 years if you're a female. And if you're going to go to university, then they reduce that. It's only 5 for a male and 3 for a female, which is pretty interesting. I always ask wherever we get places what their policy is on the military. So that was interesting to hear. And yeah, this tour, we got it through Viator. I think it was about $85, something like that. And definitely worth checking out. This has been the most fun I've had in South Korea so far. So much information and so much to see, hands-on stuff. Really, really cool. So we do have one more stop. It's a village, and we're not sure what that's about yet. We'll get some more information in a minute. Hopefully they got some snacks there, because it's been a while since we've eaten.
Like too long.
Yeah, too long. We haven't eaten all yet today, so we're getting hungry and we're hoping they got snacks there. Anyway, look at these beautiful leaves falling off the trees here. We got just the perfect time of year to be here. A little chilly, but other than that, she's loving the fall vibe. Look at this. Alright guys, I'm gonna have to put the camera down and do the Instagram boyfriend deal. See you in a bit. One awesome thing that's come out of all this DMZ is the section in between here, the Demilitarized Zone itself, is full of wildlife now. Flourishing, all different kinds of wildlife, living happily ever after with no one in there to bother them. Alright guys, so this is our last stop of the day on this tour, and it is at what they call a unification village. So let me try to explain this to you as best I can. Outside the Demilitarized Zone, but before the checkpoint, there was a stretch of land that was just barren and being wasted. So the government decided they were going to use it for farming. So what they did was they offered families a chance. You can come down here, get a plot of land to farm on. They built them a house on that land, and they set them up. You had to be qualified though. In order to qualify, you had to have strong body, strong mind, a child who's also willing to work on the farm, and you had to be of the same political orientation. Obviously, you couldn't be a communist. You had to prove that you were a Democrat. So now this whole stretch has a total of 150 families on it. And like she was just saying, they're all just one big group. They all know each other. And because it's in between North Korea, if you steal something here, you're not running north. And if you steal something, you run south, you're going to end up in the checkpoint. So there's no crime here. There are no police. There's no doors, front gates on the houses or anything. It's just perfect utopia, kind of. Kind of. So yeah, we're going to walk around this little farm, check out the soybean industry, and hopefully get a snack, because we just keep... Yeah. So yeah, we're going to try to find a little snack, see what this village is about. But overall, this has been an amazing day so far. Loving it. And it's warmed up a little. You see the jackets have come off, which is really nice surprise. All right, we're going up a hill. So you can see here, you get a little house, you get your plot of land here, you farm on it, and you're all set. Not a bad gig. Now you can walk around this whole town, I guess, but we're gonna head back to the other direction where they have the souvenir shop and the restaurant. We're gonna try to get a snack before we get back on that hour-long bus ride to Seoul. So what do you think of the DMZ?
I liked it. I like this tour.
You like the tour? Yeah, I definitely think this was worth checking out. I mean, you can't really come to South Korea and want to learn about history or anything and not check out the DMZ, So grab yourself a tour, shoot on up here, and just get full of knowledge. Full of knowledge, like we are now. So we found this little farmer's market inside the village, seeing if they got anything interesting. So far I got an iced tea, and she's got a water. Not too interesting yet. Cheetos. Doritos. But not the hard bros. Yep.
We are going out of the east area.
I wouldn't really call this a farmer's market like they do. I'd call this more of a souvenir, tourist souvenir trap.
They're a major export, so that's mainly what's here. It's just a bunch of ginseng.
And hand grenades. How many are in there? Just one?
Just one.
Alright guys, we're gonna pay for this. We'll see you outside. Alright guys, so we walked around the village for a few minutes, checked things out. Not the most interesting stop on the tour for sure, but we did check out the little farmer's market, which was a tourist trap. And they have a buffet in here that you can go into, but we didn't really have enough time to go into the buffet. We were waiting for our bus to get ready to leave. So we grabbed a little snack, some chips and stuff. She doesn't really like them. I could tell by the faces she's making behind me in the camera there.
They're stale.
They're stale, okay. But we got some drinks, we got a snack. We had a great day. Loved the tour so far. And of course this truck has to start now that I'm vlogging. Alright, he's leaving. So anyway, if you guys stuck around to the end of this video and you're the first one to leave a comment, we're going to send you guys a postcard, show you how much we appreciate you. And, well, we'll send you a postcard from the DMZ. But if you leave a comment and you're not the first one, we'll send you a postcard from South Korea, because we only got one from the DMZ. Right? Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up button. And don't forget to leave a comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.